feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome. For today's video, we're going to be discussing, talk about my childhood vision, my very first vision, and what I saw when I was a kid. There was one more vision as well, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. This one is the second vision that I had, but this one was quite interesting one, so I do hope you do enjoy it. The person I am showing you is the past me, recording this video a couple of moments ago before I came live today. If you are new, welcome. If you're my previous subscribers, welcome back. This video is being live streamed on February 28th, 2022 at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a pre-recording. I will be continuously putting up pictures and while I'm describing what I saw. Everything will be timestamped in the description below if you just want to jump into the title portion of today's video. Other than that, put your questions in the live chat and your interpretation of my dream or my vision, so to speak. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. I'll see you guys momentarily. Hi everyone, welcome. So this is the past me talking to you guys in the future me. I'm making this little video like it's being pre-recorded so I can explain what I saw in my dream without any sort of interruption. So then when I am live, I can just post and focus on just uploading videos that can show you with pictures of what I'm talking about. So you have some sort of visual contact along with audio contact so you can get the whole idea of what I saw. So without further ado, basically the point of this video is just to quickly explain what I saw. And so at the end part of this video, we'll be doing tarot card reading. So just want to jump to that part. You go to the description of this video and you can hit the timestamp in the description below. So basically what I saw was, I saw like this image, and I was 8 years old. So when I was 8 years old, Barack Obama was just been elected president of the United States. So it was under George Bush when I had the dream. But it was between the time frame of November 2008 to January 2008. So it's within that time frame, a very small time frame in fact. And I was about 8 years old. Right now I am 21. I'm going to be 22 this year in 2022. And again, this is being recorded on February 28th, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so anyway, going back to the story, I had this vision and I was scared. I mean, I was just 8 years old, so I didn't really understand and conceptualize everything that I saw. So there were other details that went unnoticed. However, this video is not meant to scare you in any way or to make you feel worried. Sometimes dreams are symbolic of something else. So we're going to explore that further in today's video. If you have questions about it or you have ideas of what it could be, feel free to share it, because I would love to hear your interpretations on my dream and my vision. So normally the way I describe a vision and a dream is that a vision is something that you vividly remember, whereas the dream is something that you remember only for a certain period of time and then you forget it. This is something that I remember since I had it, and so it's therefore classified as a vision. Because I still remember I'm 21, and I still remember the first day that I received this, so it's a vision. So going back, it was around Obama time. So Obama's just been elected president of the United States, so it was around 2008. And I remember telling my family, sitting down at the table, and I'm telling them my story, what I saw. And that wasn't the first time that I realized that I might have some sort of psychic abilities. But at that time, I didn't realize that maybe I was. Because even though I did, I also didn't conceptualize and understand that there's a possibility. I had some sort of doubt because it didn't come to fruition. I thought it was occurring under Obama and it never occurred. So I always doubted myself. But it was until Donald Trump that I realized that I actually have some sort of spiritual abilities. But besides the point, going back to the story, let me pull up things to kind of jog my memory a little bit. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. All right, so I remember seeing like me. So you know, like how when you're in a dream, you kind of can't, you're not allowed to see your skin, or you're not allowed to see what you look like. That is particularly because your spirit guides or whoever is trying to communicate with you in the dream or the subconscious level doesn't want you to be able to figure out and piece together how old you are in that dream. Because otherwise, then you'll figure out when to really focus when the time comes about, if it was to ever come about. And so at that point, I was not allowed to see what I looked like. And so behind me, where I was standing, right, I was watching from third eye view, but I also knew that that person who was supposedly me was me, but I was watching from a bird eye, so I was watching from the side down the road a little bit, so I could see two people interact with one another, but it was me interacting with someone else, and I'll explain it going further who that other individual is. But quickly before we do begin, I just want to tell you, give you the lay of the land, so to speak. So behind me was a White House, a very beautiful White House indeed. It's very something that you will see in San Francisco, not the ones where they're all crowded together, but in this case, it was like San Francisco's house, but everybody had their own separate lawn and own backyard and front lawn. So it was beautiful. The grass around me in my area, my own section when I owned the house was green, very bright green, no destruction, no damage to the house. It was just in perfect condition. However, every other house around the block, which I'm going to show you a picture now just so you can have an idea. I'm showing you different pictures from the White House to the house that looked like just without me. And then I was going to show you a picture of what me standing there in front of it, then the guy standing right next to me interacts with me from the house. And then from the other side, I'm going to give you a little image. I'm going to show you the guy from as me in into person's body, looking out from the eyes and seeing the outside world. You can kind of see the destruction, despair. All of a sudden, I remember seeing like the roads are in perfect shape, which is odd, but every house was burnt down to the ground. They were crumbled and it was black charcoal. The sky was cloudy, but only in that small section where I was standing talking to this figure, this god, was perfect color, was bright. You could see color, but everything around it was dark. Everything around it was black. Everything was ruined. Everything was destroyed except that small little section where the house was and where I was standing. And so what makes this really interesting though was that I remember when I was young saying, "Oh, it might have been a nuclear bomb, a nuclear war," because as a young kid, you were taught that these things are possibilities so that you don't freak out when they do ever occur. And so I had that background knowledge already, and I was like, Seems a little odd. And normally, some of you guys might be saying, well, maybe you saw something on TV that night and you manifested it, or you saw it in a vision. I didn't watch anything that night. I wasn't watching anything. There was nothing possible that could have triggered this vision, so to speak. It just came to me naturally. And so, going back to the story, I don't know what the interaction was like, but I am going to give you a description of what I was wearing and what the other guy was wearing. So that other guy is a god. He looks like a god. For the longest time, since I was 8 to almost 21, I thought he was a god. I just thought he was one god. Didn't look anything like what's depicted in the Bible. And I couldn't figure out who he was. I was thinking maybe he might have been an angel or something like that, but there was no indication of a wing of any sort. And so this guy had bronze skin. I'm going to show you on the screen right now so you kind of have an idea what the different characteristics look like. So this guy had gold bronze skin. He had like almost like these Egyptian type boots. I'll show you. Even though on the picture that I picked is brown, it's actually supposed to be gold. But that was the closest one I was able to find. So it's actually gold, but it's depicted in the image as brown. He also had like fiery red eyes, very fiery red eyes, bronze skin. He had those Egyptian sandals. He had curly white hair, curly long white hair, and a white beard. But what's really interesting about his hair though was that it was pure silk. It looked like silk. Like you touch it, and it felt so smooth. Like I was like, I'm really wondering what type of conditioner he used because it's phenomenal. But besides the point, yeah, he had all those. He also had like a TARDIS, like for example, best way to put it, he had like what's it called? Just say your mom, you go to your mom's house, she has white bed sheets. Kind of like that, someone threw that on him and he was wearing like this white tarnish or something like that, white bed sheet that goes across his body with like a robe or a rope, a gold rope that will loosely tie around his waist and just hang there loosely. It kind of looks something like that. I couldn't figure out for a while what this guy was or who he was. It was only until when I was 21 when I started manifesting and started doing my YouTube channel and stuff like that, that I actually realized who he was. And he actually came to me many times. I just never pieced the two together. You would think by this point I would know who he is. But the truth to be told, I had no idea. I knew nothing about Greek mythology. And I always thought that stuff was fake. And so I never really put any thought or any idea who that individual could have been. And so going back to what I was wearing a blue teal shirt and blue jeans, and that was about it. And some sneakers. I don't really know what sneakers I was wearing, but it was like flats. I think it was like maybe like Skechers or Vans. And so anyway, besides that, that's what I remember wearing. The reason why it was so significant because it scared me so much that I never wore that combination of outfits. I never wore a blue teal shirt and blue jeans. It was only recently when I traveled abroad to Italy, which I'm going to talk about in a separate video and my spiritual encounters there, and very scary thing that I encountered along with time travel and my story, how I became a psychic in the first place. This is one step in the evolution of how I became a psychic. But yeah, so basically, I was wearing that combination when I was in Italy, and I told my study abroad advisor about a year ago, prior to me studying abroad in Florence of spring 2020. I told her that would be really funny. Now, at this point, I didn't know my power. I just knew that some ability where what I spoke manifested, and I didn't know that I had that. I knew, but I also didn't. You kind of like in between. So anyway, besides the point, I was telling her it would be really funny if I went to Florence, Italy, and the pandemic started. A pandemic started very similar to the way the bubonic plague was in Florence during the 1400s. And lo and behold, I studied abroad to Italy in January of 2020. I didn't end up leaving till March 6th, when March 22nd, actually, in 2020, when the state went on lockdown, and I was on the last flight here to New York 8 minutes before the state lockdown. And so it was a very interesting experience, but what makes it even more interesting though, with the fact that I wore that combination with a blue teal shirt and the blue jeans. But it was interesting though, because you ever like wore something, or you ever done something, you ever go somewhere where you experienced this before, you know what it is, but then you just do it subconsciously, unknowingly, and you put the outfit on, then all of a sudden it hits you in the head and you remember it, almost like a flashback, but it wasn't technically a flashback because it's something you remembered, but only until after you do those actions that you remembered it. And that's what happened to me. I remembered that outfit that I was physically wearing, that after the day was over, of course, that what to call it, that after the day was over, that things were gonna start to go chaotic, and that I shouldn't have what a combination. I couldn't believe that I did it. And so after that, the country went on lockdown. Italy was the number one hotspot for COVID-19 infection. The state went on lockdown March 6th. I was there until March 22nd. And ever since then, everything started to steamroll. And that's why this dream was very important. And so when Ukraine was attacked by Russia very recently in February 2022, it triggered a lot of this, because I was planning on doing a video much later on in this year. However, certain circumstances has forced me to do this video faster and on time. So this video, again, is not meant to scare you. It's just meant to talk about what I saw and what I dreamt of what I saw. It was basically just a little rundown and overview of what I saw. It was basically a little recap here. It's basically just like a White House that was in perfect condition. I was standing in front of it wearing blue jeans, a blue teal shirt. The guy in front of me looks like Zeus, right? He looked like a Greek mythology god, which at the time I knew nothing about Greek mythology, and I still don't till today. So I don't know how the image could have came to be. So it was obviously something that was very significant and within itself. And then every other place around me, every home, every town, every area around me was destroyed, ruined. Everything was in black and white, except in my little area where I was standing was in color. And so that was very interesting, to say the least. But however, when I was filming this video, right before I filmed this video, I was putting pieces of pictures together, and something, when I type in the White House, right, I was thinking about the White House that I saw in my vision, But what ended up showing up instead was the White House in the United States. So very well, this could easily symbolize the destruction in D.C. Surrounding around the White House itself. So that is just one interpretation of what the dream could mean. There's many, of course, many interpretations of what it could mean as well. It could be not necessarily a prophecy. It could just be a visitation by the mythological god. And it's not the first time that I had this visitation from him himself. He also calls himself Saturn. And I don't do a lot of my background, and whoever contacts me, I just kind of like, okay. And I kind of let him through. But this time I was like, who's Saturn? Like, I don't get who this individual is. I looked him up. Excuse me, I'm stuttering. I looked him up, and it turned out that his name is aligned with the planet Saturn. So normally he's Saturn, and he's also known as Zeus, the lightning god. And that's when I pieced the two together last year during my channeling. There was another channeling as well before the Zeus, so episode 8 and episode 9 of my Singable channeling. He came in a Singable channeling of episode 8. Didn't really piece the two together until afterwards when I did it. And then I did right after I did Zeus, which is episode 9, and then that's when I realized that it was him who was trying to contact me. I don't know why, so we're going to explore that in today's video. Again, if you have your own interpretation or beliefs on what this possibly dream could have mean, put them in the description below in the comment section of this live chat as well. I'll be very interested to see what you have to say and what you think this possibly could have meant. Anyway, guys, I'll see you back. I'll put you back to Future Chris. He's going to be doing some tarot card reading with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I love you. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Okay, so I am back. So I hope you guys liked the interpretation. I hope it was thorough, and I hope it was able to accurately be able to tell you everything that happened. Hopefully, some of you guys were able to help me piece it out together. If you want, I know a lot of you guys are tarot readers yourself. You can feel free, or your pendulum, or whatever method you use, feel free to do it with me and kind of explore let's do a little bit of dream analysis and kind of figure this out. All right. This was very interesting. I do hope you guys like it. Let's get into it. Let me say hello to people who said hi. Hi, Marie. Welcome, love. Hi, Sarah. So let's jump in. If you want to check out the question that I have below, you can just go to the description or the comment section, and it will be timestamped to certain parts of this video. All right, so let's do the first question. So the first question that I want to specifically ask is, was this dream a prophecy or a warning? So let's ask. Okay. Spirit angels, tell me, was this dream a prophecy or a warning? Well, I should actually call it a vision, because that's what it is. Was this vision a prophecy or a warning, spirits and angels? Okay, so we have the Hermit sideways, right? And the Hermit card here kind of symbolizes unforeseen circumstances, right? Especially when it's challenged. Normally, when the card is upright, it symbolizes predictability. And when it's reversed, it means, to me, unpredictable. But it's sideways, and what that means is unforeseen circumstances. Now, on for here, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of Pentacles, and mass sideways. And what it kind of tells me here is something that's been building up for years now. Now, remember, I was 8 at the time when I got this, so there was no sort of trauma. There was no sort of anything really that could have triggered something like this in some way or some form. Diva, if you go back a little bit, if you have just missed the dream, you can move the live chat a little bit back. I kind of give like a little small recap if you want to recap. Hi, Doris. Hi, Diva. And so that's what I'm seeing here as well. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have the Tower card here. Yeah, so what this means, this card particularly means is that it was a long time coming. There's a build up of something. When something builds up, eventually, and when it has nowhere to go, it's going to explode, right? And so on the left side here, we have the Tower card. And during this dream, I talked about destruction, upheaval, and this kind of black and white. Let me kind of recap it here, right? Seeing this kind of like scenario, right? And so that could be what this Tower card is. This could be the annihilation of potential missile that could have hit the area in which I was from or wherever I was standing. Because right here we have this Justice card reversed. And the Justice card reversed kind of symbolizes that godlike figure that was in front of me, right? Let me show you that godlike figure that was in front of me, right? And so this justice card symbolizes that there was a male figure here, but he's not the one who caused that. However, I am seeing the lightning here. Now that we call about the male figure from justice, which is reversed here, we have the tower card, which is lightning, right? Destruction, upheaval. So there's a potential chance that this could mean anger. It could also be just hinting at the kind of character or the mythology here that this individual holds, right? On the right side here as well, we have the Hierophant. And this kind of card kind of tells me a warning or some sort of prophecy. So I'm going to kind of explore this a little further and kind of act for one card, one major arcana particularly. The more negative the card is, the more likely it's going to be a no. The more positive a card is, more likely it's going to be a yes. If it's reversed, opposite meaning. Spirit Angels tell me, is this dream, this vision, excuse me, a prophecy or a warning? Okay, so I heard in my right ear it's a warning. So it's not a prophecy. So it's not predicting something. It's a warning. It's a warning what may come. So, what we have to do here now is we have to manifest a positive outcome where we don't experience the outcome of which I saw in my vision. Right? Because we have the Knight of Cups here coming through, right? Controlling our emotions. We have the ability here on this channel and with other people who are spiritual as well. We have the ability, we hold the cup. We hold the emotional aspect. The difference between us, between a normal human being who doesn't really have that spiritual aspect to them, we have the ability to be able to understand what it is and why we do the things that we do. And because of that, we're able to manifest more positive things than they will be able to. And so we have way more power than they. And so by that, I mean, yes, there may be about, let's just say, 3 million people on planet Earth who believe in spirituality, and that those 3 million people can help raise and change the vibration for the rest of the world because we understand at a deeper connective level than those who don't participate or understand spirituality within ourselves. Because in the middle card here, we have here reversed, we have the Knight of Pentacles, right? We do not need everybody on board to get here. We only need a few to manifest this exact opposite. We can manifest a utopia where everybody lives peacefully and coexisting in the same ecosystem, happy and just in a loving environment, right? Because we have here as well, we have the Page of Wands here. And you have this individual, even if things do get to this point and we're unable and unfortunate enough not to be able to heed the warning, so to speak, there will be a time where we'll be able to recollect ourselves, be able to learn from our lessons, right? Because you see here, this guy coming, he finds his first wand in a desert, right? But there is no trees in the desert. That wood comes from a tree, and trees oftentimes provide buildings, right? So when he finds his first wood in a surrounding of destruction or something that's dead, because everything's dead in the desert, hypothetically speaking, because there's other animals that can survive, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about plants here. And so this card symbolizes here is a growth of rebirth in some way, that we can even find our way, even if this becomes a possibility. So you can always rest assured that even if the worst case possible happens, that we'll always find a way back. We'll always find a way back home. And so there is no reason for you to worry. So yes, the answer to this question specifically, was this vision a prophecy or a warning? And the cards say it's a warning, not a prediction. It's just a warning. That's all that this dream is. Right? Now that we know that, let's do the next question here. Who was this God? Is this Zeus? Is it my higher self talking to me? I find it very interesting to kind of explore the avenues of who this individual is. Now, I'm going to show you a quick description of who he is in case you just forgot or you just coming in onto the live chat here. We have me standing there, and you have the guy with his head down. That is Zeus. Okay, I could not find the exact picture, so just kind of, hopefully you can come up with the idea here. Okay, so who was this God? Who is this person? Who is this person I was speaking to? Oh, actually, let me use my other card. Okay, let me use that. The deck that we're going to use right now is called Celestial Tarot. I find it very interesting. I think when I got the deck, for the first time, my sister's boyfriend got it for me. And the reason why it was significant is that it symbolized a lot of astrological, astrology and mythical beings in here. And it would make sense because my channel is known for celestial. And believe it or not, when I first started my channel, it was known as Chris Angel Tarot. And my guys only recently told me to change the name to Celestial. That's where the name came from, in case you didn't know that. Okay, so who was this god? Who was this person? Who was this figure, spirits and angels? Tell me. Who was this figure? Okay. Okay. So if you guys have watched my Inner Earth video, this is also interconnected as well. So in case you have not watched that one, which I highly recommend you do. So we have here is we have the Spring, the Princess of Pentacles here, right? And you kind of see this woman dancing around, or at least spreading her flowers, bringing peace and happiness, which is ironic because the scene in which this individual came to me, there was destruction. It's the exact opposite, the exact meaning of what I'm showing you right here in this card, right? So let me show you the picture of him. Where is he? There you go. There you go. So this is from my eyes, from this person's view. This is the guy, right? And you see destruction around him. So it does not quite fit the card here. So the question you have to ask yourself is, why? And this is the Pentacle card here. This spring, it means springtime, right? So we are right around the time where we're talking about a potentiality for a World War III scenario, especially when it comes to nuclear war with Ukraine, right? Things are starting to heat up, especially on DEF CON. And if you're not familiar with DEF CON is just simply levels in which severity of the likelihood of a nuclear war breaking out. When I was doing a tarot reading yesterday, if you have not watched it, I said that it was going to go back down to blue, but then this week, and then eventually during this year, it's going to go to red, which is DEFCON 1, which means nuclear war is likely to happen. Now, that could very well change as we go on. And maybe this dream, this vision that I'm releasing to you might change that. Right? Because the card here that's in the middle, we have Andromeda. Now, a lot of you guys may be very familiar with my Inner Earth video, which is a Thingable channel, and what's happened to be all these are related. Like I always say, my videos are always related to one another. There's a reason why. And so we have Andromeda here, which I never knew existed until after I did the video. We have Andromeda here, and it's the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups here is showing me something that something is being shamed, that human beings are being shamed, particularly the soul. The soul is being changed, like almost like you're being punished, like you're being weighed down. And it's interesting because it sees here that the reason why this individual is coming is almost like to free us. Because you kind of see here on the person's hand here, we kind of see change. But on this person's hand, the Princess of Pentacles, we see her with a red ribbon freely putting flowers down and letting them grow as she walked along the land. Right? We have here on the right side here is we have the fish. I'm not sure what that is. That might be a fish, right? And we have Pisces Australia. Okay, that sounds like some sort of type of animal, but we have a Four Swords here. And the Four Swords here is very symbolic because this is Aquarius. And the Aquarius card really symbolizes here, talked about, we're actually right now in the age of Aquarius. And so the reason why that kind of shows up here is the fact that like a lot of things are starting to get crazy and things are starting to go AWOL. And so basically it was a stepping point to kind of make an imprint on me so that when the time is right, I can be able to help you. Because the reason why I became a psychic in the first place was because of him particularly. Because he was so ingrained on my mind that I just couldn't figure out exactly who he is or who he was. Right, and then between the Prince of the Pentacles and the Nine of Cups here, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, the Nine of Cups again. And the Nine of Cups card in this particular case is ignorance. Ignorance, allowing things to unfold in a way that is unhealthy. Right, and that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that something is unhealthy here. Not giving me a definitive reason of why he's here. So we're going to explore that in a moment. We have the Devil card here, and the Devil card kind of symbolizes being chained. Again, we talked about Andromeda being chained down, right? We see two people from two genders being chained. So what this particularly means is that we're constantly, the same meaning I gave here, we're constantly in this motion of repetitive pattern where we keep repeating the things over and over and over again. we're in the same cycle. And though this potentially could mean that we're starting to break that cycle, and this vision that I saw or had was just a way for us to break that cycle, right? That generational trauma, the generational curse. Right, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and that card is reversed. Again, I saw this card represented the reading before this was that it represents a build-up of something that's been building up for years. Potentially, it could be built up of spiritual energy, not feeling like you're trying to get somewhere, but you feel like there's so many limitations or obstacles that prevent you from going somewhere, right? So that could be why he's here, to just awake us, to free us in some way. Andromeda is the princess in Clash of the Titans. Is that anime or something? I'm not exactly sure what that is. But thank you for giving me that. And thank you for that. So let's get a little bit more information when you Dream Decoder. I saw this deck at Spencer's. If you want to go get it, you can find it at Spencer's. And so let's see what this card particularly has to say. So Spirit Angels, tell me, who is this? Who is this person? Can you kind of give me more information? Because it's not giving me a reason. Tell me why he's here to free us, basically. But it's not giving me a definitive answer who this person is. I don't believe it's Jesus, though, because Jesus doesn't really fit this model unless this is the original Jesus. Who knows? Because this person doesn't feel like they died from any sort of sin. They were like godlike figures. They dressed like a Greek god or a Greek mythological god type. They were not anything close to what Jesus looked like, if you know what I mean. And at that point, I was atheist, so I don't believe in that stuff. I do respect other people's religion in case that's what you practice, but not for me. So it will be unwarranted in some way why he will come through then. Okay, so we have music. Okay, ooh, interesting. Okay, I know who this person is. All right. This is exactly everything I spoke about. Okay, so I guess I'm doing another story time because this is interesting. All right, so in order for me to be able to explain who this individual is, I need to give you a little background story. And I'll do a video on this separately. This was another vision that I had. It was when I was doing Archangel Michael meditation. An Archangel Michael meditation. I was about like 14 or 15 doing this. It was my first meditation. And I was deep in my sleep. Okay, I was deep. And it was like about 40 minutes long. And I was laying on my bed. And all of a sudden, I closed my eyes and I went to this castle. Now, the castle looks like something you will see in a television show, a cartoon show. But in this, everything looks like plastic. And so I was inside the castle, was surrounded by almost like water-type lava. And all of a sudden, it was black. You go inside the castle, it was black because they didn't have light, didn't have electricity. So we kind of used a candle. But all of a sudden, the wood door, the big round wooden door will fall down to like give up like a bridge-like figure or structure to get people cross over from the water into the castle. So I go in, and all of a sudden I see these eyes, different colors, 2 eyes popping up. There were so many of them, but all of them were like, it was like an orange hue, a yellow hue, and they were kind of like lizard alien-like type of thing. I never got to see their face, but only saw eyes, and I saw multiple of them. And then all of a sudden, this was the Archangel Michael meditation. All of a sudden, I remember calling Archangel Michael, and he takes me and pulls me out of the castle, and all of a sudden I see it from a bird eye view, like kind of like this. You ever seen like a bird where they take the person or the animal and they kind of like this, and they're taking you and they're like flying away like to the heist, to the clouds, basically. And so he was taking me, Archangel Michael was taking me, and I kept seeing it from a bird eye view, so to speak, castles, and I kept seeing like everything was plastic basically. And it was kind of cool though. It felt like I was in a video game, but I wasn't. And so he took me to the clouds, and all of a sudden I remember just looking over his angel wing, and he was writing something on a scroll. At that time, I remember what it was, but I accidentally forgot it. So I don't know what he wrote, but it felt like he was writing someone's name that could have been mine. So that's all that I remember. The reason why I mentioned this, again, we talked about earlier in the video, is that this video is a warning, right? And we have the trumpet, right? We have the trumpet here. We have the car, oh my God, I can't even say, and we have the drums, right? But I find right now the trumpet to be very important because we talked about a lot of the biblical sense. It talked about the trumpet, the alarm, and the sound of the trumpet. Now, remember, at this point, I was not spiritually, I was no longer a Catholic or a Christian. So it was very interesting to see that this card comes up in this particular meaning. It could be having a sense of biblicalness in a way. Because what card that comes up right next to it is the castle, right? And we talked about the castle. I just spoke to you and gave you the entire story of why I saw the castle. And we're trying to figure out right now who this individual is. However, this person is not telling us. He's just a warning. So it's almost like we're not allowed to find out his identity. It's almost like he's anonymous or he just closed himself. Because this is exactly what I was trying to tell you in the video today when I said that I couldn't see what I looked like. I just knew what I wanted to know it was me. I just couldn't see me because you weren't allowed to see what you looked like. You weren't allowed to see how old you were or how young you were because you weren't allowed to figure out the time period in which it took place. It kind of looked like something like this in a way. And the reason why I knew it was me because the energy matches mine, right? And so the answer is today, we don't know who this is. But it's possible that this has some correlation to the person who took me out of that castle years ago. And it was very interesting because it was a warning. Again, it's a warning. And this person's job is not to reveal his identity because it was very, maybe potentially it might be dangerous to reveal his energy on social media. It could be. It feels like in some way I'm not allowed to discuss his identity because it could be something that's damaging, or it might be FBI might be listening, CIA, those type of people could be listening as well, and that could be affecting the spiritual world. So I'm going to respect the decision here and say that I don't know who this is. Most likely it's Zeus because the characteristic of what I saw closely matched Zeus. It's a Greek myth that's twice been made into a movie. I thought you knew because you saw the drama was in the chain. No, I had no idea. No, again, like I said, I know nothing about Greek mythology. I know nothing about it. I didn't even know anything about astrology either. And so I had no idea. So that's why when I heard a drama, I thought it was a fake word. Never really put any thought into it when I looked it up until after I did my channeling. Which is interesting because when I do channeling, it all comes purely. So I don't know anything that comes out of my mouth until afterwards. So I find it interesting. So glad to see you, love. I thought you were not doing any more readings. I'm so happy to find you, sweet love. Yeah, I decided not to do reading temporarily because I was very upset about what was happening in Ukraine. But I am okay now. I've been able to recover and be able to heal and reflect and think. So I am better now. So yes, I am back. Okay, so let's do our next question. The next question that we're going to ask particularly is, why did I receive the vision or prophecy? So now we know it's a warning. It's not a prophecy and it's a vision. It's a vision, but it's a warning. We're going to ask is, why did I receive this when I was 8 years old? Why couldn't they give it to me when I was older? Right? Is there a particular reason as to why they gave it to me when I was young? Right? Let's see. Maybe let's do this. The deck that we're going to use is the secret language of light. I felt like this card might be very symbolic, as I was a very pure person when I was younger, especially when you're a kid and you're 8 years old. You're more pure than you are when you're older. And so I felt like this deck would be perfect for this question. So take a look. So Spirit Angels, tell me, why did I receive this vision when I was 8 years old? Why couldn't it be when I was older? Was there a significance in that it had to be when I was 8? Remember, I'm 21, so it's not that long ago. Okay, so I think a lot of you guys can agree with this statement here. Okay. Okay, the first thing is we have here is that I am the universe, right? So potentially that God figured I'm acting about maybe the reason why I couldn't see him or ask him when I was asking about who this person was maybe there's a possibility that I could be him, that I could be, right? I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be delusional here. I'm not trying to put this narrative that I'm God and you should worship it. I'm not doing that. I'm saying that it's a possibility that I could be more human, less human than I could have thought. I could have been more celestial, as my name best puts it, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying better than you, so please do not think that. So that's that's the card that came up. Then it says here, divine feminine. I think a lot of you guys can agree that I'm a little bit more feminine than masculine in terms of energetic wise. So it would make a lot of sense because you have the heart and open. And I talk about purity, that when you're a child, you are the universe. Your world is around you, right? When you're younger, you get to see spirits, you get to see all these things. And so you're more open, you're more vulnerable. So you're able to see these things. Your third eye is open. It's not closed yet. And so it could be reason why that maybe it might not mean that I am the universe in a way, but it could be hinting towards the fact that excuse me, it could be hinted towards the fact that, like, when you're younger, you get to experience these things a lot more because you're younger, and so your third eye is open. So it is possible that it was the first time that they had been able to communicate with me as well. That is something here. We also have color here as well. Again, like I mentioned in the video, I saw color. There was color in a time with darkness. And, that is some sort of purity here, because if you look here very closely, you kind of see something like that looks like the Mayan calendar, but it also looks like a time. It looks like a time capsule. And I kept telling you guys for a while now, I kept feeling like I'm not meant in this time period. I'm not meant to be here. Like, I'm not here. Like, I was gonna do a video on this too. I felt like for a long time that I'm not from this time period. Like, I felt like I was older, like a way older, because I predicted things that had not even came into existence yet. Like when I was 8, I said, "Oh, Mom, why couldn't you fit Grandpa? Why couldn't he have an artificial heart?" They make those. They take heart and they just make it from like scratch with plastic, and they put electrical pumps into it and act very similar to a regular heart. Till today, and only recently, I think it was 2012, 2014, it came out with information that said that they're making artificial hearts. For example, I said in the United States, what to call it? I said back when I was younger, here's some quick predictions here. I said when I was younger, God, it just came from me. I'll get it back. But I said that around 50 years, when America reaches its 50th president, and the United States is going to have some sort of upheaval or some sort of civil war. Right now we're at 46, so it's pretty on par, and that was back when I was 8. So again, 2008. Another one that I have as well. I had a couple actually. A lot came true, believe it or not, but I'm not gonna put them all here. Anyway, going back to why I have it. Again, it was because I was pure. So they came to me through my third eye because my third eye was open. I just happened to be younger and I'm more happy to receive it. So they decided, you know what, just give it to him ahead of time. Like I said earlier in the video, that this is what made me a psychic. Thank you, love. Yes, I read on Ukraine. I read on, if you want, you can go back to my World at War video. You can also watch Putin video. The two most recent ones are the ones on Ukraine. And also, if you go back a little further, I also have 2 videos broken up in half for Ukraine as well. So there's a lot of reading that's done on Ukraine. So if you want to watch those, you definitely can. Okay, so the next question that we're going to ask here is, what were me and this other person talking about? Why was it that I was kept so far away watching from a third eye person, even though it was me in the blue shirt? So the reason why I'm asking the question is, I was 8 years old, right? And like how it goes when they're having a private conversation or something that's not appropriate for the child to listen to, especially at the age that they are. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I was 8. But why was it that I was able to see this vision? Now we know I was allowed to because of my third eye. But why was it that I was not allowed to hear conversation? Why wasn't I in the body in which I felt like I was who I am? Why wasn't I being able to listen into the message? Maybe I want to have a vision in the future that gives me the message and relays it directly. But as of right now, I don't know who this person is. I don't know what they're saying to me in a way that makes sense. So we're going to explore that, right? We have me here, right, standing. Then we have the guy talking to me. I want to know is, what were they talking about, right? And like, I have no idea. Potentially, maybe he's telling me the thing that I'm supposed to do on the channel to help people. Like, I don't know. And so I'm interested. I don't know what you guys think, but let me know what you guys think as well. So the next card that we're going to use here, we're going to use my most favorite deck. This is the Alchemia Tarot deck. It is quite expensive. It's rare. But it's my most favorite deck because it clearly represents my energy of who I am as an individual. So this is very vulnerable tarot reading. It was the most vulnerable video I have ever done because I'm literally showing you how I became to be and how I became to make the channel in the first place. So I do hope you do find some sort of understanding, more deeper understanding of who I am. So when you do watch my videos, you understand why they're made the way they are, and everything as well. If you're psychic, Okay. I believe all you guys have psychic abilities, just need to tap into it. Okay, so Spirit Singers will tell me, what would the person, God, let's just ask him, let's refer to him as God, why was Zeus talking to me about? What was he talking to me about? But why wasn't I allowed to listen when I was 8? Why wasn't I allowed to listen when I was 8 years old? Okay. Now, again, this is my beautiful cards. I barely use these. I don't ever want to use these because these are beautiful cards, but for this reading, it makes sense to use them. So we have here is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 7 of Pentacles again. It almost feels like it's almost like telling me a plan. Like there's some sort of thing that I need to do that hasn't yet manufactured. I think what it's telling me here in the card here, it feels like there is more vision, the more dream that's going to allow me to be able to piece the dots together. So you can expect already, this is what the cards are telling me here, you can expect a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, part 5, part 6, part 7 of this video that kind of broken down into different chambers and broken sections. So at certain times in my life, I'm going to receive them. And so it'll be very interesting to see what the conversation lies, because you see here, we have a column. And in the background, the column here is normally something that you will put water in. It allows the water to travel long distance. That's the way that they used to do it back in the old days. And so it's interesting that this card comes up reversed because we're talking about the tree of life here, which is all about food and like fruits, right? And we have this guy who's thinking to himself. He's leaning against he's leaning against that, and he sees like a letter. Look at this letter on the bottom here, and this is the sword, the wand here, but it's reversed. And what it tells me that the message is not yet completed. I have not received the message yet. So basically, what it's telling me is that there are going to be times where I'm going to receive it. I'm just not ready, just for the right time. The timing has not showed yet. We have here as well as we have the King Cup. I would not be surprised if I get this tonight after I do this video. We have here is the King of Cups here. And the King of Cups kind of easily symbolizes calmness. Even when things are rising, even when the water's rising, you feel calm, you feel collected in a way, Look at this. Look at the beauty of the card. I'm telling you. Look at the dolphin in the background jumping. Look at those little fish in the background, right? It's living. People are living. This kind of feels like this is the card that represents me. Actually, believe it or not, the reason why me and Biden come up a lot in the same card when playing deck on the King Cup, and so is he. And the reason why we're so alike is, again, we're both Scorpios. And so we have a lot of emotional elements, water elements within us that kind of bring us to this point, but also kind of allows us to be calm and collected. And, if you look at the sky here, you kind of see something that looks more like a galaxy, but it's not somewhere here. It's more out there, you know what I mean? So it's not from Earth. So maybe this is telling me here that I'm not originally from planet Earth. Potentially I could be what was known as Palladium. I could be, because if you look at this individual, see somebody with long hair, white skin, kind of very symbolic of Palladium. We have the Page of Swords here, and that's reversed. And the Page of Swords here kind of looks very similar to almost like a guy he's there yet, but he hasn't yet left his chair yet. So potentially this could be me becoming a YouTuber, right? That's what this means. And it's got the Page of Swords here, what kind of resembles me going out there and adventuring, becoming more skilled, becoming more efficient at who I am and what I'm doing, right? The challenge here as well is the Queen of Wands here. And we're talking about my feminine side here. And the Queen of Wands here is very symbolic because we're talking about Ukraine, right? Ukraine is the reason why we're doing this video early. Look at what the woman's holding. She's holding the sunflower, and the sunflower is the flower that resembles Ukraine. And so that would be very interesting, that the challenge here is that basically the message is that somehow this is relating to Ukraine. Somehow this is relating to it. The bottom of the deck here is we have the Strength card, right? Potentially we have the power to bring strength and hope to Ukraine. We have the ability, because look, in this card where I am right now, I have this. I'm telling you the dream, right? we have this again, the other side of the galaxy, and you have this woman calming the lion, while we have flowers flowing, roses. But look in the background, we have the completion of the galaxy, right? And it brings forth strength, right? And when you do that, you're able to bring this sense of happiness and hope, right? We have the 6 of Cups here. Look at these beautiful little children walking, right? It just looks like pure happiness, it's calm, peaceful, just the way that you wanted to when you were a kid. And we have here as well, we have the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 801. And 801 here that the message is not here just yet. And so actually, when I was had COVID back in 2021, there was a spirit he tried to come after me, literally try to harm me. However, I had the backing of all you guys who were praying for me and helping me with my recovery. And I never spoke about this on my channel. I actually deleted the video. I never done it. I never uploaded it, but I had the video. But someone came to me, a spirit, someone put like black magic on me, and they invited this thing and was trying to come after me, especially when I was at my most vulnerable point. And so I had all the prayers from you guys and also had the archangels and all that. And so this person is here in the card. And so that the reason why that comes up here is that, you know, I always have somebody now who always follow me around, who always wants to bring me down. But because I have all of you and I have all the protection of the angel, as long as I become true to myself, I will no longer have to worry about the dangers that the threat poses. Because again, like I said, I'm not exactly 100% human, and that makes a lot of sense now with all my abilities and what I can and cannot do, and understanding that I have the ability to walk people into the light and take them out if needed to be. And so that could explain why I'm able to do the thing, because maybe this individual is just to keep a check on me to make sure I'm not like deviating from my path, because there's certain things that I'm supposed to do in this life that's supposed to lead us one way in another. Right? So this is interesting enough that this card's come up. I'm just like mind blown. I hope you do find this video interesting, by the way. I'm not like boring. Okay, so why did I see destruction? Was it caused by a nuclear blast? So that's what we're gonna ask right now. Now I have so many depth on this table, but we'll see. So Spirit Angels tell me, why did I see destruction? Was it caused by a nuclear blast? Now there is a nuclear card in this deck, but if it comes up, then yes. But if it's not, it's probably symbolic of something else. Why did I see destruction in the vision? In the warning to me. What was the? Why did we see it? Was that symbolic or was it like literal? Spirit Angel, please tell me. Okay. All right. So we have here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, if that doesn't say it, I don't know what will. Okay, so I'll show you this thing in a minute. What is going on? I feel like every vision that I have so far, everything that I have experienced as a person, comes up in this reading. Particularly, I don't know why. Everything that I had comes up. Weird. Like everything in this video is weird. I don't know. Weird. Okay, so the first thing we have here is feeling trapped. Right. The next thing that we have here is moving forward. Right. The thing that we're asking here is, why did I see destruction? Was it caused by a nuclear blast? Right. We have water. So we have the feeling of being trapped, feeling like we can't get out of it. Remember what I said earlier in the video. The reason why the person came to me in the first place was to get us out of it, because we're all chained in this repetitive cycle. Right? We have here water, right? This person scuba diving and this person on a bike. People are running. No matter what they're doing, they're moving forward. What the spirit guides are here telling me and telling you right away, not only me, is that no matter what happens in your life, no matter how difficult things get, that you need to move forward. You gotta keep moving. The best person who ever said it is Martin Luther King Jr., where he said, if you cannot walk, crawl. If you cannot crawl, at least try moving. No matter what you got to do, keep moving forward. Never move backward. right? We also have here as well teeth falling out, right? Teeth is an enamel. Teeth is the hardest substance in a human body, right? It was the thing that will outlast all of us. Will outlast our bones, will outlast our hair, our skin, our blood, our organs. No matter what happened, the teeth will be the only remnants of the human body ever existing, right? We have here is we also have simulation, right? It's the code, technology. While computer laptops and tablets occur commonly in dreams, so do heavier pieces of hardware such as elevators and escalators, right? And so what it's telling me here is that, potentially we are stuck in this paradigm where we're constantly in this simulation of repeating things until we learn something, but potentially you can break that cycle, right? Even when it comes to generational trauma. We also have you feeling like you're drowning, right? I have many dreams where I just sleep and then all of a sudden I wake up feeling like I'm in water, but I don't know why. And so you have this drowning sense, right? Water in dream universally symbolizes emotion. So if you're drowning, it indicates that you're either under a lot of emotional stress or afraid of being overcome by intense emotion, right? And so, but there is no understanding here as to why this is all occurring, right? What accident didn't happen, what's the destruction, and what it's telling me here is that even with all the destruction, we even said this early in the video that no matter what happened, you have to keep moving forward, right? We had the guy, the Page of Wands, I think it was, and the guy had the Page of Wands in the middle of Egypt, right? The original White Away Tower deck, right? And in that deck, we had the guy with the wand. He was looking up, and there was a little tree leaf forming, and it's telling me here that even when things are tough, you have to keep moving because things you always find your way to rebuild back up, right? Even if it comes better. We also have marriage, right? A union between two people. Now, two people can interpret this. They can interpret this as somebody putting a ring on somebody's finger or someone's removing it. In this case, I see somebody removing that finger off their hand. They're removing that finger. Not finger. They're removing that ring off the finger. And the reason why that is symbolic is that we're removing this trauma, this past behind us, and just throwing it out. We don't need to be in this union, in this competitive cycle. We don't have to have it anymore. But at the bottom of the deck here, the reason why this is significant, how a lot of you guys might have remembered or probably would have recalled my video when I talked specifically about the natural disaster video, when I talked about the kept seeing tornadoes and why I kept getting them until I did a natural disaster video, and my guys were like, "We're trying to warn you," and this video is a warning, right? I even asked that question early in the video, right? This video is a warning, right? And look, we have volcanic eruption, we have plane crashing, we have cities being overrun by tsunamis. How many times have I made a video about on this disaster, natural disaster, climate change, right? We have a red sun, the red sky, which symbolizes wildfires, right? Or volcanic eruption. We have here, people trying to escape, right? We're talking about destruction here. So in the end, it is confirming that yes, it's not necessarily a nuclear blast, but it could be the warning of climate change. Could be the warning. So this video not necessarily mean nuclear destruction, but it could very well stimulate destruction overall. And the nuclear blast type scenario could end up in a scenario where, you know how while back when I did a video on natural disasters and tsunamis and stuff like that, I talked about how there was a possibility when I was reading the tarot cards. I said that there was potential where something crashes into a nuclear. Okay, so warning, if things like that happen, it means I'm on par. It means spirit is with me and they're affecting the technology, so I do apologize. But remember, if you don't remember, I'm gonna recap it here. I talked about like something happened with the nuclear reactors in California. I talked about the San Andreas fault line and everything like that. What ended up happening, I kept seeing nuclear matter, but I couldn't explain it. Potentially, it could be nuclear war, could be nuclear matter from like nuclear power plants exploding, right? There's a possibility where earthquake or tsunami could crash and punch a hole in nuclear power plant and cause an eruption. They could also be very well as, North Korea, where I said North Korea, I thought a missile potentially could actually trigger natural disasters like the San Andreas and the Canadian fault line to be erupted. Potentially something like that with a large amount of TNTs inside a bomb could easily trigger and turn on in a way natural disaster like earthquake to strike. And so it will be without intention. So basically, this could be could be a warning not to use nuclear missiles or even any sort of nuclear material because it can destroy us all. Basically, this is the video. This video is a warning. So it could be that this is referring to natural disaster particularly. I am so delightful to see you posting a childhood visit or dream. Does seem to have been warning to young Chris from a high vibration of your own soul. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. This is something that's very interesting, to say the least. This is like a distraction of Earth and shifting to New Earth. Dolores Cannon wrote about it, energy change on Earth. Yes, exactly. I'm going to be talking about, actually, believe it or not, I'm going to be talking about Middle Earth and the creation of Middle Earth and why that's very important for our ascension process, along with dinosaurs. Because dinosaurs, believe it or not, are actually play a key role in our ascension process. It doesn't make sense when you first put it like that, but promise me, when I say everything aligns with one another and everything has a certain role in its aspect on my channel when it comes to YouTube videos and when they're created and when they're posted, there's a particular reason why. So again, I promise you 100% everything's related. Okay, so what or who or what does this White House in the right behind me mean? Is what, excuse me, holy cow, this is like I'm gonna have a stroke reading this. Hold on. All right, so who or what does this White House behind me mean? Right, so I'm gonna show you a picture so you kind of have an idea if you just hop it on. Right, this White House. What does this White House mean behind me? You know, uh, why was it the only thing standing with perfect grass or lawn? Is it potentially related to Washington, D.C. White House? Let me show you, in case you forgot what the White House looks like, or you don't live in America. This is the White House in the United States in Washington, D.C. with perfectly green lawn. So it's ironic, and the similarities are there, right? But at the time, I didn't realize that it might have been related to the White House. I was thinking just my White House, but yeah. Anyway, besides the point, let's take a look. Spirits and Angel, tell me, what does the White House behind me mean or symbolize? Why did I have perfectly green grass? How did this something was Jewish? I don't know why. I'm not Jewish, but that's interesting. I do know the Ukrainian president Jewish, though. What do you do? Yeah, we'll use those. No, actually, I want to put them back. Same question, Spears saying. So why do we have the White House behind me in perfectly good shape while everything destroyed with perfectly green grass? Normally, I don't make videos this long, but this is a very interesting topic, and so I want to specifically talk about it. All right, that's enough. All right. And then we are going to also use, as well as we're going to use this deck. If you're not familiar with it, we are going to use the Dream Interpretation deck. If you have been watching my other Dream videos, you will be very familiar with this deck by now. We'll see. We'll see what this one has to say. This one is a little bit harder to read, so we will be using the guide. Spirit Angel Tommy, a little bit more additional information as to why this White House behind me was in perfect good condition and why there was perfectly green grass, why everything else was destroyed. Okay. Ah, yes, the moon. Let's grab one more. Whew. All right, so interesting. Let's jump in. Let's see what you guys have to say. If you have any own interpretation, please add it. Oh, I didn't think about that. You see how I mean? Like it's right in front of me, but I don't think about it because it's not something I think about. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, coincidence. Because when I had I'm just mind blown right now. I just can't even think. That's just shocking to me. Like I did not even think about that. Thank you, Diva. Wow. Okay. We have the Hierophant, right? And a lot of this stuff that I use unconscious, like I don't even think about it. Wow, I'm just mind blown right now. We have the Hierophant card, and we have the White Bull, right? We're talking about the White House, right? So we're talking about the bull, and you kind of look here, and you kind of see on this bull, the bull's horn particularly, You kind of see stuff. It's pattern. Look at the pattern here, right? Where my fingers are, that has barely any fingernails left. Look, you see, you kind of look at the pattern. It looks like something that hypnosis in a way, right? A lot of hypnosis. The person here, the woman, kind of has like this flower mixed with some sort of like bees that you get when you have like during Christmas time you have those little bees with the three little like berries on it, and you have to kiss somebody if you're underneath it. That type of thing. That's what I'm seeing here. We also have here is we have the macabre, which kind of looks more like a trap of some way, like a trap of some sort. So maybe have this rainbow, could be homosexuality, right? Me being gay. That could be like the literal speaking term, but it could also be as well, it could be also the spiritual essence, right? We're talking about this guy. Yeah, he's not giving a middle finger. He's actually holding a crystal. I didn't see that. I thought it was a finger, but no, he's actually holding a crystal. And he has long hair. Again, I talk about being Palladian and something along those lines. We also have a circle with a dash with a line through it. I forgot what those symbols are. I have to refresh my mind on astrology, but there is something here. We got the Taurus, by the way. We have Eight of Pentacles, what's the center Taurus. We have Eight of Pentacles. I just said it again 5 times, right? And this is, again, Scorpio. Actually, this might be Scorpio. Doesn't look like Scorpio. Again, I'm not really good at astrology. I just say that. So I am seeing this. What I'm seeing here as well is that this is kind of symbolic because you see this male here, right, on this horse, and you see this woman riding a bull, right, and she's kind of looking towards him, and he's looking towards her, but he's shooting an arrow. And what we're asking here is, why are we seeing? Why is this house here? Right? Why is the house here? And I did a reading on Poseidon, right? What's it actually funny? I did a reading on Poseidon. Did I? Someone came to me. Someone came to me. I had to do something with water. Oh, right, Atlantis. That's what it was. I had to do something with Atlantis. And we had here Neptune. Right, we have the hanged man here coming through with water. Right, talking about my water element, me coming up and appearing as if I was the king of cups in a way. And we had this person upside down here, right? And what it kind of tells me here that there's chaos warning. Oh, okay, I know what this is. Okay, you remember how I talked about the destruction of like everything that's happening with everything? The White House potentially could symbolize, in this case, could easily symbolize that we have one chance left. That and every other universe, that every house that was destroyed that I saw was that we destroyed every other planet, which is why planets like Mars, planet like Uranus and something like that, like the one that really hot you can't live on, that's not habitable. It explains here that we actually killed ourselves. Like basically, we killed ourselves in almost every planet. We destroyed every planet, and basically, planet Earth in this case is the last habitable one, at least near us, right? And so that's what I'm seeing here in terms of Neptune. That this could potentially symbolize again in the non-literal sense, could be symbolizing climate change, which is why a lot of water and destruction, Poseidon coming through in this aspect. Do you have white color? Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing that. Yes, we'll do that in a moment. I have the white tarot card. Thank you for bringing that up. We will use those. Senator, the planet Jeff is Saturn. I thought the astral Jeff was Virgo. Here you go. I had no idea. You can look. If you know more than me, you can do it. I don't know. I don't know anything about astrology or mythology in that case. So thank you. If you want to save me, definitely please help me. So we have here as well as we have time. Right? We're talking about like a warning again. This is the warning. We have the Neptune card here, right? Water, climate change. This is interesting how it went from nuclear war all the way to climate change and now sort of that. So totally did a 360 here, but it could also be interrelated, like I said. We have your time being late. So it's late. It's supposed to be here already, but it hasn't arrived. Remember when I did that video? It's supposed to be here already, but it hasn't happened because we still got a little bit of time to change it. We have animals. Right? You ever heard about Noah's Ark? This is somewhat related to it. I don't know why, but it's somewhat related to Noah's Ark with animals. We have here the maze. Amazed that sorry, I don't know why I had to do that. We have being lost, losing something, right? So potentially what this means is that in order for us to get out of this predicament of this repeating cycle, we have to sacrifice something of our own. Potentially, don't try to Please do not pull a biblical, and please do not murder an animal for sacrifice for a god, or please do not like try to do anything like that. Just try to do something light, like maybe I'm not going to eat chocolate anymore. Something simple as that, right? Like for me, I've given up the idea and not wearing blue jean mixed with blue shirts, just so like it's not going to happen again. Hopefully, we have here death or dying, right? Being lost or something. Again, right here, being lost, right? Don't try to sacrifice an animal or a human being. Please do not do that, right? But this again is related to ascension process. Remember how I talked about how dinosaurs play a major role in our ascension process? This could be very well related because we lost something. We lost an animal years ago, millions of years ago. Now this is a little explicit. Okay, I'm going to cover the bottom here, but we have the card that represents sex, right? And it says dreams about sex aren't really about the physical act. You're more about your desire for greater connection and intimacy. This may include a craving for more physical closeness, but the main emphasis is likely to be emotional. Such dreams may also suggest the need for psychological growth and self-discovery. Perhaps it would be helpful to deal with hidden or conflicting aspects of yourself. The identity of your sex partner in the dream is crucial to the meaning. Since they will represent aspects of yourself, you need to open up or integrate. You don't actually want to sleep with them. There may just be something about them you admire or can learn from. Or if you find this person repulsive, perhaps you must acknowledge or address a part of yourself you find uncomfortable. Anything associated with sex in a dream may also indicate hunger for greater excitement or adventure or just trying new things. I have never had sex with anybody in my dream, believe it or not. But, there you go. So that's interesting that card comes up because it talks about connection, right? We're all connected in some way or form, right? We have driving here, windy, getting things out of control, cars. You ever been in a car with a drunk driver? Or your friend ever tells you, man, I really miss her, and then put the mile per hour at like 160 miles per hour, and you know you're going to die? Like that, right? You're hoping you get control of the car because things are going to get crazy if you don't. Right, this thing is covered, so I think this should be appropriate. We also have here nudity, right? And so we're asking here is why is the house here? And the house is here to be symbolic of trying to allow you to look from within. The house, when you open up a home, when you open up your first doors, right? It allows you to explore your inner self. It allows you to explore who you are. So really what Spirit is trying to tell you is open the doors to the White House, because the White House symbolizes pureness, purity. It symbolizes light, happiness, right? When things are white, there is no sort of damage to it, it's just white, right? It's just pure. And so when you open that door, allow yourself to be breathed in a way with new opportunities, new successes, new happiness, new enjoyment, right? The reason why I cover a lot of my dreams or visions on this channel is particularly because a lot of them are going to relate to you. These are messages not only from me, but also to you as a person who does a lot of social media content, a lot of social aspect of it. It also relates to you in many ways. Animals are more sensitive to energy change, and they would send a change of energy first, right? Yeah, that is 100% without a doubt. Very timely. You say something. You say to give something up because Lent begins Wednesday. Many Catholics give up something during Lent. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's interesting that I pointed out. Thank you. Yes, everything is timely indeed. We have here the moon effective. We're asking now, why, what's it the house resembles? The house resembles the light within the moon, right? It resembles the purity of snow. Don't know why that came through, but it has to do something with snow here. We have shoes, right? We have the angel wings, right? You see the person kind of above you? They kind of look like they're hanging, but they're not. They're flying, and those wings are flapping. What they're telling you, Spirit's trying to tell you to do, because this is a master card here. We have 22. Oh, popping it over here, 22. And you have 11. And what they're just telling you here is to put on those big boy shoes, put on those big boy pants and big boy shirts and stuff like that. Big girls, whatever you prefer. And, allow yourself to fly. right? You are your only limitation. You are your only obstacle. If you really want to help this world and prevent it from going to the destruction that is currently heading, you have the power. We, the people, have the power. I'm not saying that in terms of the Constitution. I'm literally saying that me and you, talking to you directly, me and you and everybody on this channel, we have the power to change it. We have the power to change our own reality, our own aspect. We have the ability to shape shift if we need to. Right? Money. When you do this, and you're gonna be like, Chris, listen, I don't have enough money to do this. I don't have the ability and the luxury of thinking about, how to save Earth when I always have my mind on, making sure that I have money. Let me tell you something about spirit. Spirit always makes sure at any point in time that you are well fed. They will make sure you are well fed, well clothed, and make sure that you are healthy at all times. All you need to do is you need to sit there and call them in and ask them to help you. Spirit cannot help you without your permission. So if you need help, ask them to help you, and they will help you. Remember, they came to me and they helped me so many times, and I couldn't have been more grateful. Sometimes they don't come in the way that you think. They may not talk to you, but there is an intimate connection between you and the angelic world, or you and the spiritual world, and whoever you interact with. There is a connection between you two. Once you understand the messages that are coming through and how you communicate, things will become easier for you, right? And we have here again youth. We're talking about youthness, right? So I want to kind of explore this a little bit further here. So let's take a little bit of a look and kind of see about those white cards. I think it was very interesting. Thank you, Dira, for telling me that. Let's do the white cards to resemble a little bit more of a deeper understanding about the White House. Where is the white deck here? Where is it? Okay, sorry about that. So I had this white deck here that I bought from Europe a long time ago. I didn't know why I bought it. I just thought it was very beautiful, very pure indeed. So let me show you. Okay, and give you a little bit of work here, right? It looks very similar to mythology. I think I should have used this deck. I don't know why I didn't use it. Again, you see, like I don't think. Your White Sten Tarot deck, if you want to buy this, is a limited edition. I bought it last year, so it's unlikely that they're making more, but you can always check it out on Etsy. Okay, so Spirit Sands will tell me anything else that we need to know about why the house was white and pure and why it was standing. Is there any sort of symbolic meaning that we should know about? A lot of wands come here, which is interesting. Also a lot of pentacles and cups. So we have the Ace of Wands here. Remember how I talked about snow? Well, the snow shows up here. It talks about desire, inspiration, weakness. Right, that's the Ace of Wands here, the tree of life. We talk about the tree of life here. With the Eight of Pentacles, right, we talk about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, birds are the living descendants of dinosaurs. Basically, they are dinosaurs. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which symbolizes passion, development, dedication. Right, and we have the angelic wind. I talk about the angel wind that I saw, right, when I was being pulled out of the castle. We have the Queen of Cups, empathy, wisdom, calm. Right? So what is telling me here that, okay, so what the White House is telling me here, that there is a sense that no matter what happens, you need to understand that, you need to have this desire to be able to learn and to grow yourself beyond physical. You need to be able to have empathy for others, but you also need to feel good for yourself as well. You need to also take care of you, right? Because you cannot grow and expect others to grow if you cannot grow yourself, right? So what Spirit is really saying here is that the White House that is symbolic here it is a reflection of me. It is a reflection of empathy, wisdom, and calmness. That I am basically, like I said, I am the cup, right? The King of Cups, in this case, the Queen of Cups, which refers to my feminine side, right? And it's referring to that this reflection of having empathy, having a lot of wisdom, and maintaining calmness in times of trouble, right? Exactly. If you see everything on my channel, I'm not trying to be egotistical here. You can make your own opinions on this, but I've been very calm. I have not been too worried, but that is up to your own judgment. And I've been trying to make sure I have a lot of empathy and feel for people because, once you lose that empathetic side of you, you start to become cold. You start to forget what it means to care about someone else. You forget what it even means to care about you, right? And so, that is why the Queen of Cups is very important in this aspect. We have the Eight of Pentacles here. We're talking about passion, development, and dedication. What Spirit Guides are trying to tell you here is that no matter what happens, you got to keep moving forward. Again, that's the same message here. The main message of this entire video is keep moving forward. Don't look back. Just keep going. Because you will end up going to where you need to go, right? You know, actually, believe it or not, I never spoke about this, but part of how I know manifestation is true is not only because what I said manifested, but also when I was younger, I made a list, and I made a list that I wanted to be a YouTuber, and that was when I was about 11. I was 11 years old, and I made it, and it actually um became a point where I actually became a tarot reader. Look at where I am now. It was a manifestation. It took years, and sometimes Spirit wants you to know you need to have patience. When the time is right, it will come. Imagine me, 11 years old, doing this stuff that I do on the channel. None of you guys would probably take me seriously as 11-year-old. But I was 19 when I started this channel, and so a lot of you guys are able to more so take me more seriously when I'm 19 than if I was 11, right? 11, it will be more traumatizing because, you know, when I was first starting my channel, it was very difficult. I was getting hit by other YouTubers who would be mean to me and stuff like that, and also some former subscribers as well. And so, you know, a lot of that could be very traumatizing to an 11-year-old. So there had to be right timing. So if you're wondering why your manifestations aren't coming true, just believing in manifestations, they will come at the time that they are right to come at. But I'm very grateful that I became a YouTuber at the time that I did, and I wish I had never done it sooner. Only because I felt like it was the right time at the right place. So the next question that we have here, we have two more and then we're done. Why did I get a flashback when I was in Italy? Wearing a blue shirt with jeans. Why was I even allowed to wear that combination? I wondered, why was I even allowed? If I knew that, why wasn't I being shown this flashback prior? Why did they tell me to wear this outfit? And then like, oh, by the way, you wore this outfit and this was the one from the dream, because you know, we're gonna tell you after the fact, because why not tell me sooner, right? Why did Spirit not tell me not to wear that blue shirt and blue jeans? Okay, I heard from. Okay, they're getting mad at me. Well, they're not getting mad at me. They're just, you know, like saying, Chris, we did tell you, just didn't listen. Probably because I couldn't hear them yet. Yeah, I was stubborn. I'll tell you that I was very stubborn. I'll give you the background story, when I actually talk about how I became a psychic in the first place. This video is the first step in that. But we have the strength card. The strength card is reversed here. And it kind of talks about my inability to be able to decipher that I'm a psychic. I did not realize I was a psychic until after the fact, when Black Lives Matter was a big thing. That's when, at that point in time, I realized that I was a psychic. So I did not know I was a psychic until towards around June. Right, we have the strength card reversed here. So my spiritual aspect is reversed because I didn't know I was a psychic. I never classified myself as that. Right, we also have here the Three of Wands here. The Three of Wands showed up. It's that I never really looked. I never really listened to them because I thought had schizophrenia. Right, I really did. And I'll tell you a story about that crazy lady who tried to look at me while I was in the shower, and she was doing it from the astral projection. Yes, I tell you, I have so many plenty of stories that is not political related. So I think a lot of you guys would enjoy and be interested in what I have to say. We have here as well, we have the Temperance card here. And the Temperance card kind of gives you the sense of balance between both land and water, right? When there's balance between the two biggest elements on Earth, there's a sense of calm, a sense of peace here, right? Also talking about health, right? We have the third eye here, which is why the circle with the dot in it, talking about the hippocampus, which really is, in essence, is the pituitary gland, right? So the reason why they told me that I'm just at this early stages, or why they didn't tell me, because I was not ready. I was not developed yet. Because I was supposed to be developed, but it was almost like the early stages. They had to do what they had to do at the right timing, and I had to wear it just so I can become it, so I can become and be realizing my spiritual abilities. Right? We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Swords here. And 8 of Swords here is upright. And what this card kind of symbolizes that I was kind of blind to the idea and understanding that, you know, they're communicating with me and I'm kind of like pushing them away. I'm like not even focusing on what they have to say to me. I'm not even focusing. And, you know, at that point in time, once I realized it, that I would change, that I had to do it. It almost felt like, in order to open up my eyes to rip off these things that I placed on there when I was younger, I had to rip it open. And in order for me to do that, I needed to wear the outfit. So that's interesting why that comes up. we have the magician. And after I ripped them open, the magician card comes in, and I realized my spiritual ability. And I realized how much more powerful I really was. Right, we have here, I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. Exactly 100%. Thank you, Diva. Lovely. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of number combinations like 555, 444, 1212, 1111, 11, 11111. So much more than ever did. Yes, exactly. I just started to become more spiritual, started to become more pronounced. Like, I'll be playing video games, and they would invest in the video game and put 222, 555, 1212 all the time, always. So I see every number on the book, every one, every single one. Okay, so next one. What's the significance of the blue teal shirt and jeans? Why was it internal? It was my internal belief that when I wore it, it didn't turn upside down. I believe when I wore an outfit like that, things started to go haywire. Right, the pandemic went out of control in Italy. Likewise, we had Black Lives Matter, we had murder hornets, we had so many things that happened ever since that point when I wore that shirt back in February, 2 years ago exactly today. I think 2 years ago I wore that outfit, and so I want to kind of explore what that particular outfit means, if it has any sort of symbolic meaning of any sort. What does the blue teal shirt and the blue jeans have? What's the symbolic meaning behind it? What's the symbolic meaning? Okay. We're gonna use these three. We use the top here. We use the first three. Okay, so the first card that came out was work. Right? What's the significance of the blue teal shirt and jeans? If you ever go into like a place or a restaurant, it kind of looks like they have like a certain code. They have black on black. If you go to Chick-fil-A, red khakis, stuff like that. It kind of feels like, again, if potentially the blue teal shirt and blue jeans could be simply resembling my job as a spiritual person to be doing what I'm doing. Potentially, I was not supposed to wear the outfit, but nonetheless, it was technically a work outfit. It kind of resembled who I was. Right, and I'll talk more in depth on another video about my spiritual journey in Italy and how I encountered many things like a shapeshifter, reptilians, or stuff like that, demons, and all that, you name it. Like, you have to experience a lot of it. Right, we have cheating on a partner, right? But you kind of see how two people smudging a kiss, but they're kind of being pulled. You see the guy had like a scarf, but it kind of feels like he's not willingly doing it. Like, it feels like someone's pulling on a scarf in some way or some form. Like, if you ever see somebody kiss, it's normally passionate. This one kind of felt like, you got bad breath, you eat garlic, that kind of thing. That's what it feels like. It feels like there is no sort of connection here. Potentially, this is the ground game. Again, like you said, Diva, teal is the color in the third eye chakra. Thank you for that. And because of that, this could mean that there is no connection between me and the physical world. And so the reason why I had to bring it again, I realized my psychic ability, my psychic powers after I wore it. Right. And so that's when this comes into play. And it's actually, believe it or not, known as the superpower. Right. In this case, I didn't realize this was known as a superpower because they could have used any other one, but they chose this one. Dreamed in which you have superhero or magical powers are typical of childhood, where you can have them in any age. Right, I talk about me having this vision when I was a child. So really, what the blue and teal blue jeans mean is just simply my spiritual aspect and connecting both me and them. And we also have here as well being chased. This was the only one out there that I didn't realize I didn't pick up. We have here being chased. So that's interesting. Maybe I'm being chased by a spirit. He thinks I'm cute. Not sure. Hopefully he's cute too. I'm making a joke. I'm playing with you. Okay. How old was the mysterious May? I'm wondering how old I am. I believe I'm old. Like, I'm old. Okay, let's see. How old am I? You know, a lot of you guys probably thought I was like 25 or something, just because I have the age of old. That's to me. So let's just see how old I am in this vision. How old was I in this vision, Spirit Angel? Okay, so we have a 3 here, we have a 2, we have a 9, and we have an 8. We have a 3, we have a 5. How many flipped? I must be this old. How old am I? My God. Okay. Well, I'm old. I'm old, honey. When I say I'm old, I am old. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, so 3, let's break it into 3, because that's how they do it. So 3, 3. Okay, 3, 3, 3. So right now, I'm more than 100,000 years old. We know that for sure. How old am I? Okay, let's just put it like I'm a jillion years old. Let's just put it like that. I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so it feels like, okay, let's just put it simple here. I am old. That is the best way to put it. I am old. Simplify the math here. I am just old. You know, it makes sense though, because I talk about, you know, me having the energy of some sort of godlike being, that I'm not 100% human. So it could be that potentially it would explain why I'm so damn old. Right? I could be older than all of you. Yeah, that was what I mean. When I say me, I meant my soul. Yes, how old is my soul? Jillian's years old. I am really old. Wow, okay. Wow. Okay. That makes a lot of sense though. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so what was the importance of this vision? Why was I being given instructions? We kind of asked that before, but they told me the message wasn't there yet. Okay, so it's going to tell me when I have money in some way. It's telling me that when the time is right, when I have the world that I envisioned for myself, the one that I manifested, when I have that, the message is gonna come through. That's promising. We'll leave it like that. If you have your own dream, go to my video link on my website, submit your vision or submit your dreams, and I will contact you and we'll do a video and I will do a dream interpretation live. You do not have to show your face. You just have to basically just have your voice on, audio on at least, and you just explain your dream. Is it possible that I could have been God and that person in blue teal was a human soul who agreed to have a walk-in? So potentially, I could easily been a walk-in, and I'll explain it in another video why I had dreams like that, where I could have been that godlike figure, that Zeus in a way. I could have been him talking to some guy, the owner of the body, which would be this body, asking if I can come in and be able to do something spiritual. So we're gonna explore that. You might have been back in Atlantis, but I think you go back further with ET family, extraterrestrial family. Do you know which one? Yes. I actually came from a different planet. Um, I actually saw a vision of it. I'm going to explain it like a little bit. I'm not going to ruin it. But I am going to do a video separately on this. But basically, the reason why I brought this deck here, which is a 2020 Vision Tarot, it actually has what I saw when I was younger. Well, actually, this was about a year, 3 years ago. I had this vision. It was more like life. It was like me living my actual life. And now it had this. This is the reason why I bought this deck. This is what it was like. It was beautiful. Look at this water, right? It had that glowing effect, that bacterial effect. And so on this planet, there was like a hybrid. It was a hybrid. It was an ombre. It had different colors. It had pink, purple, orange, yellow. It was an ombre color, right? And the darkest was like a dark blue on the top, right? And it had it had 5 different moons, right? So it had one moon, and it was about 3 this way. No, actually, yeah, it's 5 moons. So it was 2 this way, 2 here, and this one was higher. But what it meant was it kind of made like an arrow, but it kind of like this way, like a half crescent, but it was like full moon, and it was like in different ways, and it was on a planet. It was beautiful, gorgeous. And I'm telling you, I loved it. I think it was a different version of Earth because where I was in a place known as Germany, but it was like Germany was by the water, like really close by the water, and it was beautiful. Like it was a different type of planet. It might have been either a different time period on Earth, or it could have been a different version of Earth in a different multiverse. So it is possible, but I do believe in some way I came from a different planet. So that have 5 moons. I don't know what one because I don't know anything about astrology, but I came from somewhere. Okay, let's do this one. And the last question, I promise you. Is it possible that I could have been a god, and that person in the blue teal shirt was a human being who agreed for me and let me walk in and do some spiritual stuff? Can you answer that, spirits and angels? Well, that doesn't look like a good card. Do not judge it. Do not judge the card. Do not judge the card. Let me use this deck here. Let me use this deck. I know that sometimes this deck represents me. Okay, Spirit Angel, tell me, what am I a walk-in? Was I God Zeus in this case? Am I Zeus who came in to somebody else's body who agreed for me and let me enter their body? On here is the last card. This is the answer. Don't know what it is. I didn't see it. Okay, so we have here the first card here is we have winter. Right, you kind of see the black crow, but now the black crow in this case is, we oftentimes see black crows as an omen. We see there's something that's dark coming, right? That's necessarily true, but in this case, the black craven is often a very intelligent species. It's able to communicate with its own kind and tell their own kind when something is nice and when it's bad. Almost like they can communicate, oh, this person got hit by a car, don't go by a car. Kind of like what it means here. Right, and you kind of see this woman, she's holding a sword and it's going down. And again, like I said, the ombre colors in the background, she's holding it, but she kind of looks like she murdered somebody. But you have like the wind here. Actually, it's the last sun. Now I kept talking about dinosaurs. This is a dinosaur here. Look, you see it? It looks like a dinosaur right there. But that's interesting because there's an Aquarius here as well. Or we have like flowers here. We have the tree of life here in the background, right? We talk about the tree of life right early in the video. Kind of see here you kind of see the berries and everything like that. That's interesting. Interesting that showed up here. Huh. Let's see. Oh my God, did I come into the person's body? You know how I kept saying, don't not judge the card, do not judge the card? Well, the judgment card came up right underneath it too. Because we have on the left side here, we have the Prince of Pentacles, right? And so this card here, this is the godlike figure, and this is my body, hypothetically, right? My body, and almost like this guy giving the pentacle to this godlike figure and saying, listen, in exchange, you can use my body for your spiritual journey, for spiritual help. So I almost feel like this guy's like saying, listen, I want to be freed of my karmic energy, my karmic destiny. I'm going to hand that off to you so that I can do what I want to do, so I can live the life that I want to. Almost feel like, oh, that would explain a lot, because it almost feels like a lot of people that I talk to always tell me they've seen a version of me on where I live on Long Island. There's a version of me somehow. I never encountered it, but there's a version of me on this island where I live, walking around, looks just like me, almost 100% identical. It could be that as well, right? Given the body, potentially I'm a clone, could be that as well. We have here Pluto, right? We're on the Pluto return here. Actually, mutable Earth, right? Mutable Earth. I think that's a mutation, if I'm correct. Not sure what that means, but I think it's a mutation here. We have a Judgment, third eye, crown, royalty, right? I always felt like I was royal in some way. I don't know why. I always liked the color royal blue or royal purple or violet, right? We have here Scorpio. We have the Scorpio card here, right? And this person, the Judgment card here, and you kind of see the ascension process. Look, right? We have the Scorpio symbol here. We have the wand here. But look at this angel, right? We have the triumph, right? We're talking about the trumpet, right? We have the spirit, the ascension process. right? I talked to you guys about my ability of how I'm able to transfer people and bring them into the light and take them out of it if need to. And that's kind of like what I'm seeing here as well, is that basically I have this innate ability to control both the spiritual world and both the physical world simultaneously because I have control of both, right? That's interesting. On the right side here is we have the Nine of Pentacles, was kind of like its boost, right? We kind of have that like don't know what that is. I know that's in communism, not that much socialist here, but that's where the symbol comes from. We also have here as well as we have the feminine aspect. Oh, that's the male aspect. We have one, two. We have the Nine of Pentacles. What kind of feels like something's floating. Something's floating. We're asking, oh my God, really. I'm not trying to be narcissistic here, but it's just something to ask, right? Just something to ask. We have here is we have the trouble, right? But the waters aren't like problematic, like you would normally see in a regular right away. It's just calm. Like, it's almost like I'm transferring somewhere, like I'm going somewhere on this journey. Right? You see the light ahead. It's almost like I'm just doing something, like I'm moving forward some way. Interesting. But we have here, we have the Sun card. I think this is okay. We have here, we have the Sun card, right? And I don't want to give you a definitive yes or no, oh my God, because that is entirely interpretation up to you. We have the Sun card here. I'm not saying I'm superior than you. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just asking the question, am I God? Right? I'm not saying am I God? I'm asking, am I a God? That's different. Right, we have the Sun card here. We have the white horse, right? We're talking about the White House, the white horse. We're talking about green here. We have the green grass here, right? The person coming in green with the male figure running. Just in happiness and bliss, right? We have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. I didn't steal the person's body. They kind of gave it to me and I took their burden away from them by carrying and transferring it. Right, we also have here as well 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. We have the 9 of Cups here, right? The 9 of Cups kind of speak about ignorance, your inability to see what's behind you, right? A god normally, or like a king or a queen, would expect you to put things in their hands. That's why the palms are open and they're expecting something. I'm not expecting anything. That's why it's reverse, right? But the card that does show up in the end is the Devil card. Now, the Devil card normally symbolizes evil. In this case, the card doesn't really symbolize that because it's a very positive card. Because this individual's not chaining anybody down, they're not harming anybody, they're just standing there, just crouching, right? So in some way, it could symbolize that I am a godlike figure that causes change. But if you guys don't know about this, if you check out my birth, if you look at the major arcana and the birthday when I was born, the Scorpio card normally comes up with the angel of death, right? And so in this case, this what looks like the angel of death. If you look at it from an aspect of that point of view, so it is possible that I am in some way a celestial being, right? We have here Dragon Away. This is something I didn't have to do, right? I'm just speaking to me at this point, right? This is something I did not have to do, right? We have the Ten of Wands here, right? I didn't have to go through this, right? I could have had a happy life, right? I could have had a happy life. I could have had all the things I wanted, right? I could have been emperor. I could have been God, basically, but I chose not to. But instead, I chose to do this, right? Find the passion, find and help people, right? Now, this does not mean I'm God. I'm not saying I'm celestial or anything like that. It looks like I am, but that's up, again, it's up for your interpretation. Right? Knight of Cups. Right? The Knight of Cups here we have is the guy on a white horse riding into water. Right? Again, he's in green. And this deck represents me. And we have here the Star card. Spirituality, right? Feminine. I'm all feminine energy. If you really want to read me, you just gotta look for the femininity, and there I am. Do you know Saturn is related to Satan? I did not know that. No, I did not know that. And actually, fun fact, if you did not know this, Satan, in fact, is actually God, and God is actually Satan. Fun facts, because you did not know that. Basically meaning Well, I know a lot of you guys are religious, and there's going to be some blowback on that. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to say any more on that regard. The sun is the god of Apollo. Actually, believe it or not, also the sun is the god of Ra, which is the bird-like figurehead. And I'll talk about reptilians and why they don't exist on our planet, but they existed on other planets, and how they got here, and how Egypt got crocodilians, they got reptilians, and they also have birdtilians. Which birds are basically the bird-like figures that actually theropods, which actually are related to dinosaurs. So we'll talk about that in another video, and how birds and Egypt are related, connected. Like the sun god is god Apollo. Thank you. So I hope you guys all liked today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Again, it's 44444. I just saw it on the screen right now. Anyway, I hope you do like today's video. It's very interesting, a little bit something different than politics. I will not divide the video into two halves, as I did not say the part 2. So I'm just going to leave it as one full thing. I hope you guys actually do click on the video. This is very interesting. I do hope you like it, and hope it gives you a little bit of insight of who I am, and gives you a little bit of warning just to manifest happiness and joy. And so the main thing that you need to take away from today's video, simply keep moving forward. That is the main thing of today's reading. Keep moving forward, manifest, have faith in your manifestation, and of course, as always, make sure that you always listen to warnings and do some dream analysis of your own. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a very beautiful night. Thank you all for joining me. I know it's late, but thank you for staying with me, and I hope you do enjoy this video. Bye.